Hello, I'm Dean Martin with Transmission Digest. Welcome to the TranStar Industry Studios here at Babcock's Media.
Hello, Andrew. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. How's it going? Welcome to the shop.
I appreciate it. I was wondering if you could help. We just finished doing work on this Traverse. Everything went well until we lowered the vehicle down, and then we noticed the front end was not collapsing like it should. And worse yet, when we took it on a road test, we noticed it rode like a tank. It didn't do that when we brought it in, and I didn't know if you had run into this issue before or not.
It sounds very similar from a problem that occurred long ago, but it's coming back on certain vehicles. And I think there might be even a TSP about this. Let's take a look and put it up in the air.
All right, we'll go ahead and pull the tire and you can take a look at it.
Cool. Hey, Mike.
So, Andrew, what did you find out?
You're not going to believe this, but there's actually a GM TSP in regards to this for 2006 and up Chevy Traverse and other ones on the same platform.
Wow.
It's really interesting. What they're saying is that as the vehicle stays on a lift, all that sediment, debris, and other stuff can actually clog the valves inside of the strut unit itself.
In fact, I had heard something about this. There's a component inside the strut that generates this sediment, this debris.
Yes, they're saying it's a rebound bumper.
A rebound bumper.
Inside the strut itself.
Okay. And that deteriorates over a period of time?
Yep, and it clogs those little tiny orifices on the piston and at the base of the strut itself.
So it will not allow the fluid to flow, and it creates a hydrostatic lock?
Yep, and when the fluid's not flowing, well, the suspension's stuck in the same position as it was when it was on the lift.
Well, that's wonderful. So if the customer is driving their vehicle around, they never notice it. The shop puts it on the lift, it's hanging here for 2 days, and now we got bad shocks.
And the customer will always come back complaining about it.
So we have to be knowledgeable so that when this range of vehicles come in, we have to alert the customer that that potential exists. I would imagine it has to do with mileage and temperature of the area that you're in. But so yeah, that's interesting that it would happen like that, because many shops, not knowing this, end up buying a set of struts that they shouldn't have to.
Yeah, and it's actually a GM problem, and not that these vehicles are under warranty, but it's good for the customer to understand this is what happened to that shock or strut on the vehicle.
I see you have a cutaway of a typical looking strut or shock, and this is how this operates?
Yeah, so you have fluid on either side that passes through the piston, and these valves are actually very, very fine. And what can happen over time is that sediment or the debris from that rebound bumper can clog the channels inside of here and prevent it from going up or down.
And thus you end up with fluid on one side, can't pass through.
And in the case where it's stuck on the lift, it's stuck in that position, which isn't any fun.
And you're done.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. It certainly happened on this, and we want to make sure that it doesn't happen anymore. We're now going to have to try to convince the customer that this was nothing that we did. It's just something that happened.
And it's also a good reason to perform a test drive after you do any repair on a vehicle.
Well, Andrew, I really appreciate the information. It explains a lot. I'll be able to convey this to the customer, and hopefully he'll buy into that. And if we run into any other issues, I'll be sure to call you.
I'm glad we have the TSP to explain this to the customer. It's great having that information. So thank you very much, and it's been my pleasure.
Always good to have the information in hand.